Welcome to Peace Over Drama, the podcast where real life meets real growth. I am Latrice, also known as One Unique Writer. Each week, we talk about protecting your peace and guarding your growth through self-love, synchronicities, and the lessons that help us rise above the drama. So, let's get started. Hey, family, come on in. Welcome to episode 39 of Peace Over Drama. I am Latrice, also known as author, One Unique Writer. And today, this episode isn't, it may not make you laugh very much. This episode is, I think, a little more about encouragement. So I hope and pray it encourages somebody, but I am pretty sure that it will. So today we are going to talk about when God answers before you even ask. So just think about it for a minute. Have you ever prayed for something? And of course, hindsight is 20/20. We don't recognize this stuff until we are on the other side of it. But it's like you pray for something only to realize the answer was already waiting for you, or you might have already gotten the answer and you felt like it was strange and weird that certain things were happening because you didn't know all of this weirdness is happening because this is the answer to a question I don't even know I'm gonna have yet. I know that sounds crazy, but some people might understand, some people may not. But yeah, it does work that way sometimes where there's some weirdness happening. And it's really just because God has already given you the answers before the question has formed or before you are aware of the question, because the question is there. It's just things are happening in the background that you don't know about yet. So that's what we are going to be talking about today. And it's really just a reminder that God is always a step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 5 steps, 11 steps ahead of us all the time. So this particular situation I'm going to tell you about is, so this is regarding a job situation. And I don't want to give it all away, but I'm actually going to go to my book, 70 Ways to Hear God. I'm just going to go to it because, there's a lot of details here. And there's 3 different situations. But anyway, I'll just go ahead and get into the chronicle. So it starts talking about how life can be challenging. And as a result, there are many frustrating questions that need to be answered. So how awesome would it be if you had answers before your questions ever developed? That would be extremely awesome, right? But if you were always made aware that the answer was an answer, then the question would never develop. I think that's why some events occur in the sequence that they do. Answers and questions can be presented to us in a manner that they are distinguished only in hindsight. So this was some years ago, and I was offered a job around April of that year. I didn't give it much thought, but over the next couple of weeks, I was contacted regarding 10 different jobs. I was confused and wondering why so many employment opportunities were coming my way when I was secure in my current position. Nevertheless, about 2 weeks passed since being contacted by the various employers. And then, unexpectedly, I received a notification that at the end of that exact particular business day, I would be unemployed. Ain't that something? But anyway, I prayed and decided that I was going to be okay. But I wasn't confident that I was going to be okay because I had been contacted many times in the prior weeks. I'd already refused those offers. Even so, I still felt that I was going to be okay. How did I know I would be okay? Because I prayed and I trusted God to take care of me. The next day, which was the first day of being unemployed, I was celebrating, happy, blasting music, singing, dancing, just pretty much throwing a party, right? I was so joyous because I viewed this as an opportunity. It was an opportunity to vacation from work. I've been working so much. I think God made me take a vacation because I would have otherwise not done so. Nevertheless, on the first full day of being unemployed, I received a call. By the time the call ended, I was hired. Just like that. It honestly wasn't even much of an interview either. So hold on, let me back up and rewind to make sure that y'all caught that. I was basically in there celebrating, not worrying about a thing. And it's one of those things where God can take anything that was made for your harm or your bad or whatever, and he can make it for your good. So instead of me being all down, complaining, blah, 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 rah, 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 I was in there just choosing to see it from the perspective. And that's the other thing. Everything is a matter of the mind, how you choose to perceive something. But instead of me being down, oh man, I lost my job and I already gave up the other opportunities. I already refused them, blah, blah, blah. I chose to look at it like, well, hey, look, I already been working so much, grinding so hard. This must be a vacation. And God knows I become a workaholic sometimes. I do the most. And so he had to force me to take a vacation. That's the way that I chose to look at it. So, like I said, in the midst of my partying, instead in the third, I received a phone call. By the end of the call, boom, I'm already hired. And again, it wasn't much of an interview. So anyway, let me get back to reading. So I believe that because I chose to trust God and was sincere about leaving the situation in his hands, like letting go for real, because we be saying that we letting go and putting it in God's hands and then we go back and pick it up. But anyway, I was sincere about leaving the situation in God's hands. I believe that, let me just start over. I believe that because I chose to trust God and was sincere about leaving the situation in his hands, that he responded expeditiously. No one can tell me that God does not answer when you call. There's always a positive perspective that can be taken, even in unfortunate happenings. Having trust and faith is a matter of choice. And so now here we go into situation number 2. And it says, while on the subject of jobs, I'll tell you about another incident. Unlike the previous example, I wasn't given the answer prior to the question, but I was seeking a job. I prophesied with faith that I would be contacted that particular week. I didn't prophesy based on any recent contacts or conversations. I just decided to believe and speak what I wanted into existence. And guess what? I was contacted about 5 different jobs in 1 week. But wait, there's more. A third example. Okay, here we go, y'all. Number three, here we go. This was also an entirely different time period from the other incidents. I knew the contract I had would have soon expired. Or I knew the contract that I had was to expire soon. So I was working, obviously, clearly you can see contracted jobs, but it says I knew that the contract would expire soon, as in a couple of weeks. So while it was on my mind, I decided to pray for a contract extension. 1 hour, can I get a drum roll? 1 hour after praying, I received an email stating that my contract was extended. Y'all hear that? Now that's 3 totally different examples that I just gave y'all about how your faith works. Because I'm telling you, if you work your faith works. Sometimes what it takes is for you to pray and speak a word of faith and be highly convinced, be intentional, and be highly convinced that the thing you speak is going to occur. Okay? It's cool to believe and expect, but you need to know. Like, you need to be completely convinced that that thing that you're talking about is going to really come to pass. So the lesson in all of this is that when you are aligned, God sets the stage before the curtain even rises. And that's why faith feels lighter, because it's not forced. It flows. When you operate in your faith, it makes things feel lighter. And that's how you can navigate in peace. So this week, I want you to reflect on where God already gave you provision before you asked. I'm pretty sure you can think of something. And even if you can't think of a time where the answer came before you gave the question, just think of how God is. You think of a time where you asked a question and the answer came after, or just look around at everything that you have, because so we can all make up a reason to be mad, upset, angry, having an attitude problem. Oh, I woke up today, I'm still going to this job and or, oh man, thank God I have a job to go to. I don't have to worry about where the next dollar is coming from. Oh God, the kids messing up the house, or this, oh man, I got to go in here and clean up and Okay, well, at least you have a place to clean up. When you first wake up, you should already be thinking, well, I can't tell you what you should and shouldn't do, but this is just the way that I function. When I wake up, I be checking, making sure, hey, am I alive? Am I really alive? Oh, okay, cool. I'm here. I'm back again. Okay, thank you, God. Ooh, this memory foam mattress. Oh my God, this thing feels so good. And even if I want to stay in the bed a little longer, I'm not launching off into something negative first thing in the morning. Oh man, I got to get up and go to work and man. I screw all of that. I'm thinking, oh man, this bed feels so good. I go ahead and start already filling myself with some good things, because the fact that I open up my eyes, number one, that's already a good thing. The fact that I have a bed to lay in and it's so comfortable, I have a memory foam mattress. This is good for me and my body. Yeah, I wake up feeling good because I'm recognizing the things that are good. And whatever you focus on anyway, it is going to expand. If you keep focusing on the bad and the negative, that's what you're going to keep finding all throughout the day. Focus on the good. And sometimes we do have to work at it, because life is life. Sometimes we got to force it. But hey, listen, nobody gets to be special and be in this thing all by themselves. Everybody is having to work on being positive and focusing on the good. It's work for everybody. There's not one person who doesn't have to exercise faith and be proactive and taking notice of the good things and the blessings. Nobody gets to be special in this life like that. Nobody gets to say, oh, well, this happened to me when I grew up. My mama, my daddy, my sister, my brother, my cousin, my auntie, my uncle, my grandparents. Nobody. We all got stories we can tell about the family and the friends and the ex and the this and the So, nobody gets to be special. You don't get to be the only person where somebody did something wrong to you or you have problems. You don't get to be special in that way. None of us do. So you can kill all of that, because it's not going to help anything. So anyway, like I said, getting back to it, your gratitude can grow your faith. And one of the ways that works is because when you taking notice all of this good stuff intentionally and you being grateful for it, that makes you feel good right there. And when you feeling good, trust me, it's easier to have faith versus if you moping around and being negative Nancy and talking all this bull crap. If you pumping yourself up with negativity and to feel bad, how in the world how is that helping you to have faith? I don't understand that. But anyway, we not even here for that, to be trying to figure out something retarded. This for the good people who want to have peace. This for the people who want to have joy. It's not for the people who used to toxicity and you addicted to the negative and low level frequencies and emotions. This ain't, no, we aren't here for that. So we are here to talk about how we can continue on this journey to have peace and joy. And peace means resting in the fact that God already knows and He already provides. You don't have to force what's already been answered. That's why it's so important for us to have faith and let stuff go. When we say that we are letting things go, we need to really, really, really for real be letting those things go. That's what needs to be happening. And so that's it for today's episode of Peace Over Drama. Thank you for joining me. And remember, when you trust God's timing, you won't be scrambling and being all extra. When you say you are giving it to Him and letting it go, like really let it go for real, because the answers are already waiting. He doesn't need you to keep coming back, stirring up the pot. He already got the seasoning. He already getting that thing just right. So thanks for being here for episode 39. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs a reminder that even the small faith can make a big impact. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and grab my book, 70 Ways to Hear God. The link is in the show notes. And until the next time, protect your peace, guard your growth, and keep choosing peace. Thanks for tuning in to Peace Over Drama. I am Latrice, also known as One Unique Writer. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend, subscribe, and connect with me at One Unique Writer on all platforms. Remember, peace first, drama never, growth always. Until next time,